What is an abstract? An abstract is a short but very important part of any publication or thesis. In this video, I will show you some of real examples and how they could be improved. Not to criticize, but to help us learn and write better abstracts together.
Welcome. First of all, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future videos. If you are a researcher, academic, or simply someone passionate about contributing to scholarly work, you are in the right place.
So what is an abstract? It's a short but very important part of your publication or thesis. It tells the reader in just a few lines what your work is about and why it matters. Why is the abstract important? Because it gives the first impression, whether it's to a journal editor, a thesis examiner, or a reviewer. If your abstract is unclear, vague, or too general, it can give a poor first impression, even if the research itself is excellent. Also, keep in mind that many academic databases and AI tools scan and index abstracts. They're usually the part of your work and paper that's freely available online. So if your abstract is written clearly and specifically, it's more likely to be found, understood, and cited by future readers. So in short, a good abstract doesn't just help you get published, it helps your work to be noticed. It should be clearly explain what your work is about in just a few lines, sometimes a couple of paragraphs. There are three main and common types of abstracts: structured, unstructured, graphical. So let's start with the structured abstract. This type is divided into clear sections like purpose, method, key findings, value, or originality of your work. Each part is written separately with no long introduction or extra sentences, just clear and direct points. Some publications or some institutions or some publishers, like Emerald, actually prefer this format because it's easy to follow. The second type of the abstract is unstructured abstract. This is the most common one. You will cover all the same points like purpose, method, funding, value, originality, contribution of your work, but everything is written in one flowing paragraph without headings. This type of abstract can be used for your thesis or your publications or for many other purposes. Then there is another type of abstract which is called graphical abstract. This is more visual, like a diagram or an image that summarizes the key points or key ideas of your paper and your findings, for example. It's not required everywhere, but some publishers like Elsevier may encourage you to submit it for publication. If you are a new researcher or a student, it's often easier to start with a structured version. Just list your key points clearly. Then, if needed, you can combine them into a flowing paragraph and a flowing text later. That's why you won't miss any of the important points in your abstract, or you won't mix up different parts of the abstract, and the logic and the flow will make more sense. Many people try to write abstract like a short essay, but end up being too general or missing the main message. Now, here is a pro tip. If you are still learning or writing your first few abstracts, start with a structured version. Just write out each point clearly and separate. Then, if needed, you can connect them into a flowing paragraph later. Many early career researchers try to write an abstract like a short essay, but they often miss the main point. So this step by step method helps you stay clear, focused, and straight to the point. In the second part of this video, I will review a few real abstract examples and show you how they could be improved. This isn't about criticizing anyone, it's just about learning through real practical cases so you can write better abstracts yourself. If you want to learn more about other parts of a research projects or how to write a strong proposal, check out my book, Research Proposal, Crafting with AI Awareness, Strategies to Communicate Strong Academic Arguments, available on Amazon and Google Play. So stay with me until the end. You will walk away with tools and confidence to write an abstract that actually works. Let's get started.
This is the second part of the video with a few additional quick tips from a paper on how to write a comprehensive and informative research abstract. This will be followed by two examples from different publications. This table includes a few components that can be used in an abstract. A good abstract today is not only read by academics, it's also read by students, non-experts, social media audiences, and even AI tools. A clear writing makes it easy to lift a sentence or two that can be reused as a short social media post or a tweetable key message about your study. In other words, your abstract should be precise enough for experts, like using this kind of tables as a guide, but also simple enough that a non-specialist can quickly grasp the main point and share it with others. Example one focused on a publication about evaluating prefabrication impacts. This topic is essentially about evaluating whether prefabricated elements should be used in construction projects. But look at this abstract here. It's highly unbalanced in terms of the structure. The abstract has four labeled sections like purpose, design, findings, originality. Well, then you can see the purpose section is extremely long, like that, while findings and originality are very short. This usually suggests the authors either try to justify their research to reviewers or received reviewers' comments pushing them to explain their purpose clearly. So the findings are vague as well. The finding says the analysis indicate that the method helps a project's stakeholders communicate about the relative metrics of prefabrication. But if you look at this, like what analysis, what method, how does it help when itself is going to help? And what changed or is novel here? A strong abstract should be specific. The paper about how to write an abstract, like previously discussed, also says an abstract should, at minimum, identify your study design, setting, sample strategy, sample size, and main data collection and analysis methods, and so many other details at least should be referred to them to make it more meaningful. So there is no specific measure or outcomes, no pattern, no concrete insights. The reader learns more, almost nothing about the study's actual outcome. So the method is unclear. So they refer to a method, and they have the method section or methodology section, but it's not really clear here, and doesn't explain what is its components and what makes it novel, different, or useful, or what kind of exact measures used in this study. Originality is also generic, and it says that there are some originalities or values, but the funding is not really clear. It's how to measure the value or originality as well. So the second example is a paper about productivity of prefabricated timber panels. So this is the abstract of the second paper or second example, it's very balanced. So you have different components: purpose, methodology, findings, originality. So it has a clear aim with a practical problem. So it's exactly says what is the problem, what is slow. The abstract states the real issue: lack of productivity. Data slows adoption. The second point about this abstract is it's a strong transparent method. So the time motion analysis or time lapse photography used, and 300 crane cycles are mentioned here. So it means this is very clear and specific to readers. And the third point is concrete numerical findings. So the results are measurable: productivity ranges, comparisons between outliers, um, and filtered data or the full data set, and differences between large and small cassettes are also mentioned in this abstract. The abstract clearly states what is the originality and contribution of this study, which lies in seeing crane cycles as the main productivity measures, unlike previous labor focused studies. So the second abstract is actually from a paper I co-authored. I'm not presenting it as a model because it's mine, but it's a useful example to analyze, and we can see what works, what could be improved, and use it as a learning tool. This is the third example, which is an unstructured abstract. The topic is also related to prefabrication, but you can see the method is so compressed and lacks critical details. The abstract lists multiple methods, in fact, they used in their study, like literature review, expert interviews, existing thesis, framework, questionnaire survey, 6 stakeholder groups. That sounds like a big study, but abstract provides very little details on any of these elements. It doesn't say how many experts, how the sample was chosen, and also how the questionnaire was designed, how the data was analyzed. So the method section feels dense but vague, lots of steps but no clarity. So this is something needs to be really clear. Findings are also very short and remains vague, as you can see here. The findings show the assembly, detail, design, and design change are the most highlighted TSEs of PH. So what does highlighted mean? Is this frequency, cost, impact, perception score, how much higher were these compared to others? What did the stakeholders disagree about? What was surprising? We don't know many of them, like as a reader. So even the stakeholders specific findings are also general. So you can see whatever is related to stakeholders are mentioned in this abstract, and is not really actual insights. For such a multi-method study, this level of detail is not enough to readers. As you can see, heavy use of acronyms TCS, PH harms readability. TCS and PH appear in nearly every sentence, reduce clarity for non-experts, and confuse AI bot indexing. Spelling out the key terms most often would immediately improve readability. Originality is not clearly stated. A value or significant is general and overclaimed. The abstract says the work inspired policymakers to reduce significant TS, but it's not clear how it inspires and which part of the funding really inspires them.
For more tips on research writing and publishing, feel free to connect with me on social media, subscribe to my YouTube channel, or check out my recent books. Stay in touch and stay inspired.